Baseball Extra fam. What a weekend for New York baseball. We are diving deep into an absolute roller coaster of a game, a clash that had everything: early struggles, defensive woes, a 5-run deficit, and a comeback that sent shockwaves through the league. If you love incredible comebacks and heart-stopping finishes, you're in the right place. Stick around, because this game had it all. And the Mets, well, they had to fight for their playoff picture destiny. Welcome back to Baseball Extra, everyone. The last 2 days for our beloved Mets were, to put it mildly, brutal. They just couldn't catch a break, and it left them looking from the outside in on the playoff picture. Every game from here on out feels like a must-win, and this one against the Cubs was no exception. For the Cubs, this game had massive implications too. They're battling hard for home field advantage in the playoffs, and their lead over the Padres for that coveted spot was shrinking, down to just 2.5 games. The stakes for both teams were sky high, setting the stage for what would become an unforgettable night. Taking the mound for the Cubs was the rookie sensation, Cade Horton. This guy has been nothing short of brilliant all season, but especially in the second half. His numbers at Wrigley Field are simply jaw-dropping, sporting an ERA of just about a run and a half. He's a legitimate ace in the making, and the Mets knew they had a tough challenge ahead. But then, stepping up to the plate, was none other than Francisco Lindor. This man lives and breathes baseball. He's piled up 621 at-bats this year, more than anyone else in the National League, and he was on a scorching 10-game hitting streak. And what a way to extend it. He absolutely crushes one out to left center field, deep in the gap, and Crow Armstrong can only watch it fly out of here. A leadoff home run from Francisco Lindor. He delivers the keynote, setting the tone as he has so many times in his Mets career. That's his 29th homer of the year, extending his own record for leadoff dingers in a single season. What a start for the Mets and for Lindor. On the other side of the ball, David Peterson was on the mound for the Mets. We all remember his rough outing last time, giving up that grand slam to Manny Machado. And coming into this game, his ERA over his last 4 starts was a staggering 10.90. It was clear he was struggling to find his rhythm, and the Cubs were ready to pounce. Warner, the Cubs' best hitter against lefties, steps up. He hits a light drive out towards right field, and it falls through for a base hit as Soto collects it. Nico Hoerner is aboard, and he was hitting a phenomenal 358 against left-handed pitching coming into play tonight. Then it's a walk to load the bases, and the Cubs have 2 men on with Carson Kelly on base after a stolen base. Santana, who's been cold since joining the Cubs, only 1 for 18, hits a fly ball out to right field. Soto eases back to the warning track, but it heads right into the ivy. 2-run score. Santana ends up at second with a double. And just like that, the Cubs are in front, 2-1. Even with the early lead, you could feel the tension. That ball one Soto should have had, coupled with the recent shaky defense of the New York Mets, was already coming into play again. It's an ongoing concern for Baseball Extra, and it showed. In the bottom of the second, Beatty lets it off for the Mets. He's a left-handed batter and drives one toward the gap in right center. Suzuki makes an incredible sliding backhanded catch, a very nice play after a long run. We'd already seen evidence of how difficult playing right field could be tonight with the shifting wind. And just like that, the Cubs have 2 men on again in the second. Pete Crow Armstrong, who isn't swinging a great bat right now, lays down a beautiful bunt towards third, advancing the runners to second and third. Peterson, as we mentioned, has been really tough on left-handed hitters, but he's struggling tonight. Shaw gets a base hit to right field, steals a base, and scores a run. Then a line drop base hit to left field by Nico Hoerner brings in Turner. The Cubs now lead 3-1. Ian Happ, who struck out his first time, drives one out towards left center field, and that's going to score a couple. Happ rounds first on his way to second. Shaw comes in, then Nico. A 2-run double from Ian Happ, and the Cubs now lead 5-1. Peterson is out after just an inning and a third. This is quickly unraveling for the Mets. With Peterson out, Michael Soroka takes over. The plan was to protect Cade Horton in terms of innings, but this feels a little early. And then we get the news. Horton was removed from the game after just 29 pitches due to low back tightness. A concerning development for the Cubs and a potential shift in momentum. Soroka does a good job, with Beatty smothering a ball for an unassisted play to end the inning. Pete Crow Armstrong's night started well with a single beyond the diving Lindor. Nico Hoerner is already 2 for 2. Warner rips one, and Beatty is equal to it at second. But MC Neal's throw goes into the dugout, sending Hoerner to second base. Not sure what happened to Jeff there, but MC Neal's throw was not even close. That makes 6 errors in the last 4 games for the Mets. 6 errors. This is a major issue for baseball extra to highlight. Two down, but a runner in scoring position for the Cubs. And here's Hap batting left. On the right side, MC Neal dives for this one, gets up, and throws wild again. That'll bring Horner into score. Hap is safe at first, and it's 6-1 Chicago. Back-to-back bad throws by Jeff M.C. Neal give the Cubs another run. The Mets are bleeding runs, and the errors are piling up. The Mets desperately needed to turn things around. Mart steps up and hits a ground ball up the middle for a base hit into center field. He's now hit in 10 straight games. A solid, consistent performance. Here's Alvarez, who struck out his first time up. He hits one to short, and it eats up Swanson, bouncing out into left center field. Hap picks it up and fires it towards Nico, and Alvarez gets into second. Dansby Swanson was trying to come in on that ball to give himself a chance for a double play, but it skipped right under his glove for an error. Another error for the Cubs this time, and the Mets have second and third with one out. This is a crucial opportunity. Linder is coming up, and he homered his first time up. The momentum could be shifting. Linder pulls one on the ground toward the hole, but Horner shuffles over to get it and gets the out at first as Mark comes home to cut the Cubs' lead to 6-2. Every run counts. Then Juan Soto steps up and takes ball 4, putting 2 men on for Pete Alonso. This is it. Alonso with a chance to get the Mets right back in this game, and Pete drives one deep right field. Suzuki goes back and watches it off the ivy. Alvarez scores. Soto stops at third. A bullet by Alonso. It goes as a long RBI single to cut the Cubs' lead to 6-3. The Mets are bringing the tying run to the plate, and it's Brandon Nimmo. The Cubs bring out Taylor Rogers from the bullpen to deal with the lefty hitting Nimmo. Rogers throws, and Nimmo drills it to deep right field. Suzuki going back, and that ball is UTOF here. Brandon Nimmo ties the game with a 3-run homer. A 3-run, game-tying homer for Brandon Nimmo. The Mets have come back from 5 runs down. It is Cubs 6, Mets 6. An error opened the door, and the Mets have burst through here in the 5th inning. What an incredible turn of events for baseball extra to witness. The night started with the wind blowing in, but it's completely turned around, now blowing out, and Nimmo took full advantage. The energy in Wrigley Field just completely shifted. The Mets, who looked dead in the water, are now right back in it. Kelly pops one up behind first. Alonso is hoping it'll stay in play. He reaches and makes the catch, but then tumbles into the netting. No, he lost it. I thought he had it, but he did not. He went tumbling into the netting, actually went through the netting into the seats. He had it, but then when he didn't go knocked down. Then there's Jeff M.C. Neal. He lines one to center, and then a broken bat pop-up. He pulls that one down the line. Suzuki goes over to try to cut it off. MC Neal is going to test him, trying for second. Suzuki's throw is offline, and MC Neal has a double, his 20th double of the year. The Mets are relentless. It's 3-0 now to Alvarez with Linder on deck. Alvarez takes ball 4, so Pomerantz comes in and gives Alvarez a 4-pitch walk, bringing Linder to the plate with 2 men on and a chance to take the lead. 2 outs, 2 on, and he lines one up the middle. Base hit. Here comes MC Neal around third. He'll score the go-ahead run. Francisco Linder drops in his 3rd run of the night, and the Mets go in front 7-6. When the chips are down, Linder is the man for baseball extra. What a clutch performance. Both twin brothers, Tyler and Taylor Rogers, have already appeared in the game. Now Tyler Rogers is in for the Mets. Hap takes ball 4, and Ian is on for the 3rd time in the game. That pushes the tying run into scoring position. And Seiya Suzuki is coming up, back up the middle for a base hit. Here comes Nico Horner around third. He's in to score, and we're tied up 7-7. Seiya Suzuki with his 92nd run batted in. This game is absolutely wild. It caught everyone out of their seat. 2 outs and nobody on for Justin Turner. Turner flies one into shallow center. Long run in for Nimmo. He's sliding, but he can't get there. Brandon Nimmo playing center field. First time he started in center all year. They've got a pinch runner, Kevin Alcantara, who will run for Turner at first base, carrying the go-ahead run. Alcantara takes off. Throw to second. Tag. Is he safe? Yes. First big league steal for Alcantara, setting up Pete Crow Armstrong with 2 outs and 2 on. And what happens? They strike him out, shutting down Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubs in a huge moment. This game is still tied. Now, it's left to Francisco Alvarez. The Mets can win this game. They can go back in the lead for that 3rd wild card spot. And he drives one deep left center field. Crow Armstrong goes back, and it's out of here. Francisco Alvarez puts the Mets in front with a two-run homer. Alvarez with the biggest hit of his life, his 10th home run of the year, and the Mets are back in front. It's 9-7 in the 8th. This is potentially one of the handful of biggest home runs hit by a Met this year. What an absolute blast. The raw emotion and clutch factor from this young catcher is incredible. This is the kind of clutch hitting that defines seasons and makes for legendary moments on Baseball Extra. Carlos Mendoza, the Mets manager, has pulled out all the stops in this game. He's gone to his last bullet, bringing Edwin Diaz in to try and get the last 6 outs. This is a high-pressure situation, the kind of moment start closers are made for. And what does Diaz do? A 1, 2, 3 inning in the 8th. It's 9-7 going to the 9th. Edwin Diaz is now looking for his third 6-out save of the season. He strikes him out after falling behind 3-0. He comes back and strikes out Kelly with a slider. 1 man down in the 9th. Then, strike 3 called. 2 men down. Edwin Diaz working at premium effort. 5 batters, 4 strikeouts. The Cubs are down to their final out. Dansby Swanson has never had a sniff against Edwin Diaz. He's 0 for 10 with 9 strikeouts against Edwin in his career. The history is not on Swanson's side. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Put it in the books. The New York Mets have regained control of their destiny as they came from down 5 runs in this game and win the opener of this 3-game series from the Cubs. What an absolutely incredible finish to a game that felt like it was slipping away. This is the kind of win that can ignite a team, that can change the entire trajectory of their season. From a 5-run deficit, defensive errors, and a pitching struggle, to a game-tying blast and a go-ahead bomb, capped off by a dominant 6-out save from Edwin Diaz. This is what Baseball Extra lives for, moments of pure, unadulterated baseball magic. This victory is massive for the Mets' playoff picture hopes, giving them renewed confidence and momentum. Let's break down some key takeaways from this epic clash here on Baseball Extra. First, the resilience of this Mets team. To be down 6-1 on the road against a good Cubs team and fight back is a testament to their grit. Linder and Alvarez's clutch hitting were absolutely pivotal. Those home runs weren't just runs. They were momentum shifters. We also have to acknowledge the defensive issues that cropped up early. 6 errors in 4 games is simply unsustainable for a team with playoff aspirations. It's something the coaching staff will undoubtedly be addressing. On the Cubs side, Horton's early exit due to tightness is a concern, especially if it impacts their rotation going forward. The bullpen struggled to hold the lead, something they'll need to tighten up as they push for home field advantage. But the biggest story, unequivocally, is the Mets' comeback. This isn't just a win, it's a statement. It shows they can battle, they can overcome adversity, and they refuse to quit. What does this mean for the playoff picture? This win puts the Mets right back in the thick of it. Every victory at this point in the season feels twice as important. This kind of comeback can galvanize a clubhouse and build a belief that they can achieve anything. For the Cubs, it's a tough loss to swallow, especially letting a 5-run lead slip away. And with their lead over the Padres shrinking, they'll need to shake this off quickly and refocus. The New York baseball landscape is heating up, and games like these are why we love this sport. The drama, the tension, the incredible swings of emotion. It's all part of the game we celebrate here on Baseball Extra. This series is far from over, and if Game 1 was any indication, we're in for more fireworks. What an amazing game. Baseball Extra fans, if you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown of one of the wildest games of the season, do us a huge favor. Go ahead and like this video right now, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future analysis, highlights, and deep dives into the world of New York baseball. Your support helps us bring you more fantastic content like this. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this incredible comeback. Who was your MVP? What was the biggest moment for you? We love hearing from our community. Thanks for watching Baseball Extra. We'll see you next time.